Thank you, Simon. CSO stands for Civil Society Organization, also known as NGOs. Okay. Swachhanda Samstha like CGR, Dharma, Seva and other organizations. So this theme was conceived for a particular reason. CSOs are selfless. Okay, they are self-motivated. They don't need anything to drive them. They are self-driving. CSOs, normally there's one or two, a few people behind every CSO. So they are already involved people. They want to do something for the society. Right? So it was very important for us to bring together various CSOs who have been working in this area of climate change, directly or indirectly. Okay. So this was attended by speakers in that were Maruti Garu from Robin Hood Army, Pamela Malhotra from Sai Sanctuary, Captain Karnaka Reddy from Seva, Karnaka Reddy from Walk for Water, GBK Rao of Bhagati Group, and Brigadier Ganesh Rao from Bombay other students. So I'll just quickly summarize 2 or 3 important points what they talked about, each of them, because they have a lifetime of contribution, each of these people. And then also talk about the action items. So we are here to discuss what is the way forward. Next steps ఏంటి అనేది మాట్లాడుకోవడానికి మనం కలుస్తున్నాం ఇక్కడ. కాబట్టి so we'll summarize that way. So Robin and Dharma, you all are aware of that. They do a lot of service, especially in the area of food security. So whatever food is being wasted, parties, functions, bakeries, restaurants, వాళ్ళు ఆ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ తీసుకొని ఆ ఫుడ్ కలెక్ట్ చేసుకొని దే give it to the needy. So they have served millions of people. Millions. Okay, so they have done a wonderful job. They are also doing something in the schools for the meals for children. So they are very much concerned about wastage of water, because especially rice, wheat, all these foods what we are presently eating, let's say wheat consumes 10,000 liters of water per kg. Many people are not aware of this. So
without make it fine, I think reforming.
So they are planning to introduce millets for children in schools. Instead of rice, they will introduce millets. Millets consume literally no water. At the same time, they replenish the soil. So this is his summary. He wants to work with us, and he is also going to talk briefly in the afternoon. Then Pamela Malhotra, she is a US citizen. She is married one of the Indian environmentalists, and she settled in Karnataka. So they have developed a sanctuary, a private sanctuary, 300 plus acres of plantation they have done. And today it's become a forest. Okay, so they have reconstructed the forest, and they have also fought against timber and poaching mafia. Okay, why are we losing our forests? It's mainly because there's a big mafia. So it's a big challenge. It's not as green as it appears to be. So they have done that. They have gone to the courts, they have gone to NGP, and brought about changes in rules which allow cutting of trees. And then they have stopped the dam from being constructed in one forest area. They have stopped the railway line to go from a forest area. They are now recognized by the government of India and also the United Nations. So this is a summary of them. So she has a lot of energy at her age, and she wants to associate with us in this network and and whatever she can contribute, she'll contribute. So Captain Karnataka Reddy, he, apart from being a trustee of Dharma Seva, he also has initiated along with his family members two Vipassana International Meditation Centers, one in Velax and one in Islamabad. They have donated their ancestral property for construction of Vipassana Meditation Centers. And thousands of people are encouraged to do this kind of a meditation. We'll discuss in the next theme why it is important. Similarly, Karnataka Reddy from Walk for Water. Again, he has had the opportunity to work with Dr. Abdul Kalam Garu, and he has imbibed his values. So he has selflessly done a lot of work in the area of water, educating the rural masses. He's done campaigns, made potable drinking water at affordable cost to the rural people. Then he has undertaken some Green India Challenge, which is a large mass plantation drive. He has worked on rainwater harvesting. He is also very interested to join our network and be associated. G.B. Karawar, we know him very well from the Pragati group. He also offered, he has planted more than 47 lakh herbal trees. Used organic methods and biodiversity is a plus in his wherever he has done his work. And he is from he has got a Vedic knowledge from our scriptures. A lot of Indian science which we have to recognize. Now the world is at this stage because we have left our own Indian scriptures, our own science, and we are moving to the Western. So this is one man who for the Vedic knowledge in schools. So he wants to do his bit, whatever way we are coming up with that framework. So he wants to do it as per the framework he wants to work with. So the summary of this theme is that CSOs have a major role to play in the upcoming in the climate action. So the takeaway point from this is that we have many similar CSOs. These are not only people, they are the speakers who participated, but there are so many of them which we have to, because we have taken the lead. So we have to make a network of these CSOs and bring them all together on a common platform. So it can be something like another entity which is something like a climate action alliance, because we are all individual entities. We don't have anything binding, right? Each of us is a different NGO. So how do we have a common goal? How do we have a common vision and objectives? So for that, I suggest that we have a framework as well as an entity under which we all work together. And that will have, then they will be more responsible towards the common objectives. And then we have to come up with modules, let's say, as Narasimha Reddy just said about agriculture. The farmer, let's say we are engaging a farmer, we have to have a kind of a module or an activity for them. Similarly for students, we need to have a module and an activity based on which we will be able to engage them. So these are all the points that that can be the action items. And funding is another aspect that we have to look at for this because it's a capital intensive effort as we go along. So with this I would like to summarize CSO's aspect. So any questions on this or suggestions? Welcome to service. How do we do the discussion?
We will have later after lunch, we have open discussion.
The Brigadier Connection, sorry I forgot to mention. He also talked about the agriculture side and the engagement from the farmers and engaging even the bureaucrats and other government missionaries to be part of this. The other theme that we have conducted is spirituality, health and climate change. So how is spirituality, health, and how are they linked to climate change? Right. So that's a very interesting thought. So basically, anything that happens in the external world of a major nature, it's a seed in the thought process of one individual. Okay. This webinar, how did it happen? It's a seed in the thought of an individual, so powerful that it could influence so many of us and so many other people who are not present. Right? We have seen some negative incidents like bombing of the World Trade Center in US. It's a seed in the thought of a negative mind. It was so powerful, he could inspire other negative-minded people to do that kind of a job, which created so much fear in the minds of people. Right? Anna Hazare, he did a movement for anti-corruption. It's a thought in his mind. How did it become a movement which the entire country, crores of people got into it? So this is something that we have to think about. So spirituality has that power. So a person who is evolved spiritually will have that benevolence to serve the mankind and environment. The pure thinker will naturally get that. So the more pure thinkers we have, the more people we have who can be part of this climate action. Right? So that's how spirituality is connected to this, pretty much. Then how about health? So health, again, healthy people naturally tend to be in line with nature, benevolent to nature. Right? So that's another aspect. And how do we become healthy? By eating, by taking inputs from Panchabhutas. Okay, it's not just food, it's also about the elements of nature. Right? So food, when it comes to food, again, the most healthiest foods if we are looking at, like the millets or the fruits or the vegetables, they have very little load on the environment. That is how that is connected to climate change. Okay, so we had very good speakers in this, and we had the graceful presence of Justice B. Reddy, Honorable Justice of High Court, for this event. So he has given his views. So what he said, India as a country has a significant role to play. We are a spiritual land. Okay, we have been practicing everything that is favorable to nature for centuries. It was only in the last 1 or 2 centuries that things have got disturbed. So we have to get back to that. Here he equated nature to God. He asked us to treat rivers, water bodies, everything. He took like God, like living beings. He said that we must protect our river bodies. For younger generations, there is a significant role to play. Okay. And then he also talked briefly about the laws that are prevalent, like the water, the land revenue, and other acts which are there. He asked us to approach the judiciary for issues which are related to climate change. If somebody is abusing nature, like there's somebody misusing, polluting the environment or polluting water bodies, he asked us to approach judiciary. Then the next speaker was Dr. Kadavalli. Most of us know him. He's very popular, known as the millets man. Promotes the millets a lot, though he is also a very spiritual person with a lot of knowledge on our Indian scriptures and Bhagavad Gita. What he said is that the current culture, the industrial food culture, is the culprit for what is happening now. So we have to work on that. We have to bring back our own culture. So he said that 1 kg of sugar consumes 20,000 liters of water per kg. So instead, if we go for something like palm jaggery or an alternate sweetener, if it all is required, then we are saving a lot of water. Similarly, 1 kg is 10,000 liters of water. So that kind of suggestions he has given. And millets, obviously, for health reasons as well as for climate perspective, from climate perspective, we just suggested that. And he talked about minimalistic living. Live as if you don't exist. That's what he has suggested. Then after that we had Swami Shittikantananda ji from Ramakrishna Math. He again spoke of the spirituality. He discussed about sattvic way of living. What is sattvic way of living? Sattvic way of living is opposite of getting indulged into anything that is addictive. Sattvic way of living is a minimalistic way of living. Eating live, real, vegetarian, plant-based nutrition. Okay. And it's a lifestyle. It's not just about food. It's also living in tune with Mother Nature, getting sunlight, getting exposed to being outdoors. A lot of things that are related to this lifestyle. Meditation is again one way to move closer to the nature. And the real happiness, he concluded by saying that the real happiness is sattvic way of living. Then after this we had a speaker from natural lifestyle. Natural lifestyle again, so by the way, all these people who spoke in this session, in this theme, have lakhs of followers. They are already change makers. Okay. So they have agreed, they have pledged their support for what we are doing. So it is up to us how we create that framework and the ecosystem for all of us to work together. So natural lifestyle, Acharya Mohan Gupta ji and Pooja Bansal from Delhi, they have joined. They are again promoters of natural lifestyle and one of the followers. So they have something, they talked about something called a magical diet plan. They have cured tens of thousands of people of their diseases, BP, sugar, arthritis, like that, so many diseases in just a single camp. So it's a very straightforward approach. And we can follow it in day-to-day basis to maintain our health. So they are willing to come in the afternoon for 2 minutes to pledge their support. Then Ravi Kumar Reddy from Vipassana meditation again, he has talked in depth about how Vipassana can transform the mind to think in a very pure and positive manner. So I see a lot of young people here. It develops a concentration too, and it's a right concentration. It's not negative concentration. We can develop concentration in both ways. So the right concentration is what is developed by Vipassana. There are tremendous benefits. It's not just about concentration, but when we have the right positive concentration, we can apply it. Our goals itself change. Earlier, let's say 15 years back, or 20 years back, before I started Vipassana, practicing Vipassana, my goals are more oriented towards professional and personal development, material growth. Okay, I was like anybody else, trying to, buy this car, that car, buy this property, that property, study in the best university, get a very good job, all these things. But as I started practicing this. So from within, the change came. That, okay, what is the big deal? Anybody can do, anybody can acquire properties, anybody can grow materials. So this brought about transformation. Okay. So very beautifully, Ravi Kumar Reddy sir has explained. I was a student, by the way. So this, the Vipassana centers, they conduct camps in all the government schools today. They introduce the young students to Vipassana, and they are being guided to go in this path. So he again has, they are already doing what they are supposed to do, but he said he will be supporting whatever they want. Then finally we had Sister Radhika ji from Brahma College, Krishna Reddy has suggested them to be part of this. And she has also again very beautifully given several examples from spirituality. So to conclude on the spirituality section, so it is very important. I mean, I am summarizing what everybody has said. It is very important that we have to address this issue of purity of thought process at the roots level, at the depth of the mind. If we are telling, okay, you don't do this, you don't do this, you think like this, you don't be angry, you be God-minded, you be loving. Okay, we listen to it. After some time, we forget it. Suddenly somebody says something, we are angry again. But when we are doing this, we are practicing technique like Vipassana, from the roots level we get transformed. Okay? So we have to take advantage of the techniques. These are all Indian techniques. Gautama Buddha has teach this original technique. It is preserved in its original form without getting any impurity. Right? So we have to take advantage of these techniques. We have to introduce these techniques in the education institutions. Similarly, health perspective. We had good speakers like Acharya Mohan Gupta ji and Kadavaliya. They have lifetime of experience and knowledge in how to be healthy. They are practicing it. There are so many tens of thousands are getting benefited. So why it shouldn't be in a curriculum? Why we shouldn't make it part of our system, which we lost? So this is one action item that can happen. So in addition to whatever education, so-called education, which is preparing us for getting jobs, we should have something which will make us better human beings, and in turn it will definitely protect nature. Right? So that is the conclusion. And these are the action items.